right, everyone, get ready, because we are diving deep into a potential turning point in AI today.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about DeepSeek. Have you heard of them?
Of course. It's been all over the news.
This Chinese AI company that's making waves with their new model, DeepSeek R1.
And sending shockwaves through the industry, too.
Yeah, and they're claiming to have built R1, get this, for a shockingly low cost. Especially when compared to...
Oh, yeah, the billions.
The billions, right?
Being poured into AI.
Poured into AI by U.S. companies.
Right. It's crazy.
It's insane. It's like, okay, imagine someone built a Ferrari in their garage for the price of a used sedan.
Yeah.
How'd they do that?
That's what we're going to figure out.
That's what we're going to unpack today.
Exactly.
We've got a whole stack of articles and reports.
Analyst reports, some first-hand accounts even.
Oh, wow. Even first-hand accounts.
For people who have actually used DeepSeek R1.
So we're really going to get into it.
We are.
And these sources paint a pretty fascinating picture, right?
They do. They do.
So, okay, DeepSeek R1, what is it?
Well, it's a chain of thought reasoning model.
Okay.
Which is similar to, OpenAI's O1.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's totally open source.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're using this, MIT-like license. So that means it's free to use, free for anyone to use.
For anything.
Yeah, personal, commercial, anything.
Wow, that's a huge difference from what we're seeing.
Oh, yeah, huge contrast.
These
expensive proprietary models.
That we always hear about.
Right, the big players.
The big guys, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes in different sizes too, right?
It does, yeah.
I was reading about that.
Yeah, there's a lightweight version with 7 billion parameters.
7 billion.
There's a 32 billion parameter version.
Okay.
Which is comparable to O1 Mini or something like that.
Got it.
And then there's the big one.
The big kahuna.
671 billion parameter version.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you need some serious hardware to run that one.
Yeah, I bet. So, okay, I keep hearing this phrase thrown around.
What's that?
Sputnik moment.
Ah, yeah.
DeepSeek R1 is being compared to the launch of Sputnik.
A lot of people are saying that.
What is that all about?
Well, it's being said by some pretty big names.
Okay.
Like Mark Andreessen, the venture capitalist.
Right.
Remember Sputnik, right?
Yeah, it was that satellite launched by the Soviet Union.
Back in 57.
1957, I think.
That really kicked off the space race.
Yeah, it was a huge...
Oh, a huge wake-up call.
For the U.S.
Yeah, exactly, for America.
It was like, whoa, what's happening?
What's going on?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what people are seeing with DeepSeek R1.
Really?
Yeah, just as Sputnik challenged, America's technological dominance back then.
In the 20th century.
In the 20th century.
Yeah.
DeepSeek R1 is kind of doing the same thing now.
In the 21st century.
In the 21st century, in the AI landscape.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a sign that things are changing.
Yeah.
That the playing field is kind of leveling out.
And China's a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's already impacting things, right?
Wow, yeah.
I read that the news about DeepSeek R1 actually...
It caused a bit of a stir?
Caused, a stock market dip.
Oh, yeah. There were some jitters.
Jitters, yeah.
In the stock market.
In fact, some big companies saw their shares drop.
Yeah.
NVIDIA.
I think Microsoft were affected.
Yeah, I mean, investors are...
They're worried?
They're a little nervous, yeah.
About what this means?
About the disruption.
The disruption?
That DeepSeek R1 could bring.
It's a real David and Goliath situation, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah, it is. So you mentioned the cost, right?
Yeah.
Let's get into that.
Okay, let's dig into that.
We've got some numbers here that are pretty mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
So OpenAI, for example, they're spending $5 billion.
$5 billion a year.
A year.
On AI development.
On AI. Crazy.
And then Google's projected to spend, what was it?
I think it's over $50 billion.
$50 billion.
In capital expenditures just for this year, 2024.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a lot of money.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And DeepSeek built R1 for under
$6 million.
$6 million. How is that even possible?
I know, right?
That's crazy.
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
But from what we're seeing, it seems like a big part of their strategy is this thing called model distillation.
Okay, so what is model distillation?
All right, so imagine, right, you've got this master chef who has spent years and years perfecting these recipes.
Right.
And instead of keeping those recipes a secret, they decide to share their knowledge.
They're like, here you go.
Yeah, with aspiring cooks,
Look at all my secrets.
Yeah, they teach them the techniques, the nuances, the secret sauce. So
the secret sauce, literally.
Yeah.
So they're passing on their expertise without having to...
Without starting from scratch.
Right.
And that's kind of what DeepSeek did.
With model distillation.
With model distillation, exactly.
Okay.
They basically took the outputs from some of the most powerful AI models out there, like GPT-4, Metalama.
Oh, wow, the big ones?
The heavy hitters. And they used that information to train smaller, more efficient models.
Oh, so they're like the apprentice learning from the master chef.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Taking all that knowledge and skill, applying it to their own...
To their own creations, yeah.
Wow.
And by doing that, by tapping into this...
this knowledge.
This massive knowledge base.
Models.
They're able to pack a ton of power into R1.
Wow.
Without needing that crazy level of computational resources.
Okay, so that's how they achieve...
That's the secret sauce.
The cost efficiency.
That's how they did it.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty clever, huh?
It's amazing. And some versions of R1 can even run...
On, like, regular computers? Like laptops and stuff.
On, like, consumer-grade hardware, yeah.
Yeah, entry-level GPUs.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Yeah.
Makes AI development...
more accessible.
Way more accessible, yeah.
To a much wider audience.
To anyone, basically.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
But okay, let's talk about performance.
All right.
Does DeepSeek R1 actually live up to the hype?
That's the big question.
I mean, can something built for that much less?
For a fraction of the cost.
Right.
Really compete with these...
these like
these $1 million
models. Yeah.
Well, from what we've gathered,
it
seems to be performing incredibly well.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not just
a cheap knockoff.
It's not just like a budget version.
No, it's the real deal.
Okay.
Some benchmarks even show it matching or exceeding models like GPT-4.
Wait, seriously?
On certain tasks.
It's outperforming models that cost
hundreds of times more.
Hundreds of times more to develop.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
That's amazing.
I know, and there's this anecdote that I think really illustrates this.
Okay, tell me.
Someone tested R1 with that Tank Man photo.
Oh, from Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, you know that one.
That iconic picture.
Yeah, the man standing in front of the tanks.
Yeah.
And get this, DeepSeek R1, it not only correctly identified the photo.
Oh, wow.
But it provided context.
It, like, knew what it was.
It understood the significance of the photo.
Wow.
And its historical context.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's not just spitting back information.
Yeah.
It's understanding the meaning behind it.
Wow.
Pretty impressive, right?
That's really impressive.
Yeah, it speaks to the depth of knowledge that they've managed to pack into this thing.
Wow.
It's not just a lightweight model.
Yeah.
It's capable of complex reasoning.
Okay. So let's dive into the chain of thought reasoning then.
Okay.
What makes this type of AI model different?
Okay, so think about how humans solve problems.
Okay.
We don't just jump to the answer.
We think
it through.
Yeah.
We break it down into smaller, more logical steps.
Right.
We analyze the information. We consider different perspectives.
We might go down the wrong path sometimes and then have to come back and try again.
Exactly. And then we draw conclusions based on, our reasoning.
Okay.
So it's like a step-by-step thought process, right?
It's like solving a puzzle.
Exactly, like a puzzle or a riddle.
Yeah.
And that's what these CoT models do.
Okay.
They emulate that human-like reasoning.
So they don't just
give you an answer.
They
show their work.
Oh, okay.
They break down the problem.
Into these steps.
And they kind of demonstrate their thinking process.
So it's more transparent.
Much more transparent, yeah.
We can kind of see how they got there.
Exactly.
And DeepSeek R1 takes it a step further.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you ask it a question,
mm-hmm.
it shows you its step-by-step thought process before giving you the answer.
Wow. So you can actually see how it's thinking.
And it's like
looking into the AI's brain.
Yeah, it's like having an AI tutor.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
That's walking you through the problem.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that transparency is really important.
Yeah, it builds trust.
And
it helps us understand
how it's arriving at its conclusions.
Yeah.
Which is something we don't always get with AI.
No, it's often a black box.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, DeepSeek R1,
mm-hmm.
It's breaking new ground in terms of transparency, cost efficiency.
Yeah.
But there's another interesting aspect.
Okay.
The training method.
Yeah.
I read that it uses something called direct reinforcement learning.
It does.
What is that?
Well, with direct reinforcement learning, R1 basically learns by doing...
Okay, like trial and error.
Exactly, trial and error.
Making mistakes and learning from them.
Yeah, so imagine giving it a set of problems to solve.
Right.
But instead of giving it the answers...
You just let it try.
You just let it figure it out.
Oh.
So it generates multiple solutions to a problem.
Yeah.
And then it gets feedback on those solutions.
Okay.
And based on that feedback, it learns to prioritize the best ones.
It's like a student getting grades on their homework assignments.
That's a perfect analogy.
Figuring out how to improve.
Yeah.
And this all happens.
All without any human supervision.
The AI is teaching itself.
The AI is teaching itself.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
But, okay, let's talk about this big thing.
What's that?
The elephant in the room.
Okay.
DeepSeek R1 is open source.
That's right.
Which is amazing.
It is.
It makes this powerful technology accessible to anyone.
Anyone, yes.
Smaller companies.
Researchers.
Individual developers.
Hobbyists even.
Wow.
Yeah, it could really level the playing field in AI development.
Yeah, but isn't there a potential downside to that?
Well,
I mean, what about the risk of this technology being misused?
That's the question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a powerful technology.
It is.
And it's important to think about,
the
consequences, yeah.
Of making it so widely accessible.
Exactly.
So what are some of the specific risks?
Well, one of the big concerns is misuse.
Okay.
In things like misinformation.
Okay.
Propaganda.
Right.
Imagine someone using DeepSeek R1 to create really convincing deepfakes.
Deepfakes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like those fake videos and audio recordings?
Exactly.
That are almost impossible to tell.
Oh, they're getting so good.
If they're real or not.
Yeah, and they're only going to get better.
With AI like this.
Exactly. And with access to a model like DeepSeek R1,
right.
It can become way easier
to create them.
To create these deepfakes, yeah.
Wow.
And, I mean, they're already a problem.
Yeah, they are.
But with more powerful AI, it could get a lot worse.
Yeah, people could be tricked into believing things that just aren't true.
Absolutely.
It's kind of scary.
It is.
And it's not just about spreading false information.
Right. Think about
scams.
Oh, dams, phishing,
yeah.
All sorts of cybercrime. A sophisticated AI could be used to craft these really personalized messages.
Oh, wow.
That are super persuasive.
To trick people.
Into giving up sensitive information.
Yeah, so
it's like giving scammers a superpower.
Wow, that's a good way to put it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there are the security vulnerabilities.
Okay.
I mean, with any open source software.
Right.
There's always a risk of bugs, flaws in the code that could be exploited.
By hackers.
Hackers, yeah.
So it's like this double-edged sword.
It is.
Open source AI has this amazing potential to democratize things.
It does.
But it also brings a whole new set of challenges.
In terms of security, responsible use.
Yeah, exactly.
Trade-off.
So we've got to be careful.
Absolutely.
We've got to be aware of these risks.
You need to have these conversations, open and honest conversations about these risks.
Yeah, even as we're exploring the exciting side of it.
Exactly. The possibilities are amazing.
Okay, so let's talk about the cost thing again for a second.
Okay.
Because there's some skepticism.
There is.
About DeepSeek's claims.
Yeah, some people are questioning
the cost of developing R1.
If it was really that cheap.
Right. Some experts are suggesting it might have been more expensive.
Yeah, that the actual cost was higher.
Than what they've said publicly.
And what they're letting on, yeah.
Why are people questioning them?
Well, there's some speculation that DeepSeek may have had access to more advanced hardware than they've acknowledged.
Like what?
Well, some people think they might have used those.
Those restricted NVIDIA.
Yeah, the H100 GPUs.
The ones that are...
Yeah, the ones that are subject to export controls.
So they might have gotten their hands on them somehow?
That's what some people are saying.
And if they used those...
Well, then their cost advantage wouldn't be as significant.
It wouldn't be as impressive.
Exactly.
So it's possible they're not being totally transparent?
It's hard to say, for sure, without more information.
Right.
That's part of the problem.
They're not being totally open?
There's a lack of transparency.
It's like a magic trick.
It is, a little bit.
We're amazed by the outcome.
The rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, but we don't actually know how it's done.
Right, exactly.
Until DeepSeek gets us more details.
Yeah, those doubts are going to linger.
Transparency is super important.
Oh, it's crucial.
Especially with something like AI.
It builds trust, allows for scrutiny, accountability.
Okay, so we've talked about the risks, the skepticism, but let's shift gears for a minute and talk about the potential applications of this thing.
All right, the applications.
I mean, we've seen what it can do, right?
Yeah, problem solving, coding.
Image recognition.
Even image recognition.
So where could this be used in the real world?
Well, imagine a world with chatbots.
Okay.
Powered by DeepSeek R1.
Oh, wow.
Chatbots that can provide amazing customer support.
Personalized.
Personalized, yeah.
So instead of those
frustrating automated systems
that we always have to deal with.
Right, exactly.
We'd have these AI assistants
that understand us.
that can give us
real help, useful information.
Solutions to our problems.
That's the idea.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and it's not just customer service.
Okay, what else?
Healthcare.
Healthcare, okay.
DeepSeek R1 could analyze medical records.
Wow.
Help with diagnoses, even personalized treatment plans.
So it's like an AI medical consultant.
In a way, yeah.
Helping doctors make better decisions.
Exactly.
Provide better care for patients.
That's the hope.
Wow.
And then there's education.
Education, okay.
You could have these interactive learning platforms.
Okay.
That adapt to each student's needs. Provide personalized instruction.
So instead of the one-size-fits-all approach.
Right. Everyone learns differently.
Yeah.
So the AI could tailor the experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and these are just a few examples.
Yeah.
I mean, the potential applications are vast.
Across all sorts of industries.
Finance, manufacturing,
entertainment,
transportation, you name it.
It's like this technology could change everything.
It really could.
But with that kind of power comes a lot of responsibility.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got to be really mindful of the ethical implications.
Yeah, we have to make sure it's used for good.
How do we do that?
Well, we need to address things like bias.
Okay.
Protect privacy. Ensure transparency.
Accountability.
Accountability, yeah.
It's not just about the technology itself.
It's about how we use it.
Right.
The impact it has on society.
Yeah. It's a big conversation.
It's a huge conversation.
That we all need to be a part of.
Exactly. It's not just for tech people anymore.
No.
It affects all of us.
Yeah, so resources like this deep dive
are super important.
We're trying to give you the information you need.
Yeah, to understand this complex landscape.
To be a part of this conversation.
To make informed decisions.
About the role of AI in our lives.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
Knowledge is power.
It really is.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
The technology, the potential benefits, the risks.
Ethical considerations.
But there's one more crucial aspect of DeepSeek R1 that we need to address.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Its potential impact on the global balance of power.
Ah, yes.
It's not just a technological breakthrough. It's a geopolitical game changer.
Big time.
And in the final part of this deep dive, we're going to delve into those implications.
Buckle up.
So we've been talking about this DeepSeek R1 and how this new AI model from China is shaking things up.
Definitely shaking things up.
But it's not just about the tech.
It's bigger than that.
There are these geopolitical things we need to consider.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like this whole AI landscape.
The whole landscape.
Is changing.
It's shifting, yeah. You can't ignore the geopolitics.
Yeah. How do we talk about DeepSeek R1 without talking about the global AI race?
It's all connected.
Yeah, and the stakes are high.
Oh, incredibly high.
It's not just who has the smartest algorithms anymore.
No, not anymore.
It's who controls the future.
It's about power.
Of industries.
Economies, even militaries.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
So how does DeepSeek R1 fit into all of this?
Well, it's a bit of a curveball.
Yeah.
It challenges the idea of U.S. dominance in AI.
Which has been the story for a while now.
For a long time, yeah.
Everyone assumes the U.S. is leading the charge.
Right, but DeepSeek R1 is a sign that China is catching up.
And maybe even surpassing us.
Potentially.
Yeah, in some ways.
It's a wake-up call for sure.
And people are noticing.
Yeah.
I've seen reports that U.S. policymakers...
industry leaders...
are starting to react.
They're definitely taking notice.
So what are they saying?
Well, some are saying we need more investment.
In AI research and development.
Here in the U.S., yeah.
To stay competitive.
Exactly. They're worried about falling behind.
But I've also heard concerns about going too far.
Too far the other way.
Like, what if we restrict things too much?
Ah, yeah, the export controls.
Yeah.
Some people want stricter controls to prevent China from accessing tech.
Like those advanced NVIDIA chips we talked about.
Exactly, the H100s.
So it's this balancing act.
It is a delicate balance.
You want to innovate.
You want to stay ahead.
But you don't want to help your rivals.
By giving them the tools to get ahead.
Right. It's tough.
It's a tough situation, no easy answers.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
DeepSeek R1 has made the U.S. reevaluate things.
Oh, absolutely.
Our whole approach to AI.
It's a wake-up call, like we said.
And it's not just about the tech itself.
No, it's about the bigger picture.
Our relationship with China.
In the tech world, yeah.
It's complicated.
It is. And the stakes just keep getting higher.
Yeah, it feels like it.
And it's not just the U.S. that's feeling the pressure.
Other countries, too.
All around the world.
What are they saying?
It's a mixed bag. Some see China's AI ambitions as a threat.
Okay.
Others see it as an opportunity to collaborate.
Wow, so it's this whole new era.
A new era of global competition.
And cooperation.
We're still figuring out the rules.
What I find really interesting is that DeepSeek has done all of this, despite limitations.
Yeah, they've faced a lot of obstacles.
Like the U.S. has tried to restrict their access to technology.
Lot for controls, yeah.
Yet they're still making huge leaps forward.
They're finding a way.
It's impressive.
They've turned constraints into advantages.
By being efficient.
Innovative.
They're getting results with limited resources.
It's a good lesson for everyone.
Yeah, it shows you don't need unlimited money.
Or the most powerful computers.
To succeed in AI.
It's about ingenuity.
A different approach.
Thinking outside the box.
So where do we go from here?
That's the big question.
What does this mean for the average person?
Well, I think the most important thing is to be informed.
About AI?
Yeah, learn about it, understand the potential, the risks.
The ethical implications.
It's not just for tech experts anymore.
It's going to affect all of us.
It already is, in ways we might not even realize.
So what can we do? How do we prepare for this AI future?
Stay curious. Ask questions.
Challenge assumptions.
Demand transparency.
Hold the people developing this technology accountable.
It's our future. We have a say in it.
We've covered a lot today.
We have.
From the tech behind DeepSeek R1.
To the global implications.
Hopefully this deep dive has given you a better understanding of this whole AI landscape.
It's a complex and evolving field.
Don't forget to check out the show notes for links to the sources.
You can keep learning and exploring.
The AI revolution is just beginning.
It's an